Captain Jake Morrison stared at the navigation screen for the 10th time that morning. Something was wrong with the galactic charts, but he could not figure out what. The green lines showed shipping routes that curved around empty space like drivers avoiding a pothole, but there was no pothole. There was nothing there at all. "Lisa, come look at this," Jake called to his science officer. Dr. Lisa Park walked over from her workstation, wiping her hands on a cloth. She had been cleaning alien artifacts they picked up from their last stop. "What is it, Captain?" Lisa asked, looking at the screen over his shoulder. Jake pointed to a blank area on the chart. "See this empty space here? That is where Earth should be. Our whole solar system just shows up as nothing." Lisa frowned and leaned closer. "That cannot be right. We got these charts from the Federation 3 months ago. They are supposed to be the most accurate maps in the galaxy." "That is what I thought too, but look at the shipping lanes. They all go around this area like it is dangerous. No trade routes go through it, no exploration paths, nothing." The UES Horizon was humanity's newest exploration ship. It had been built after first contact with the Galactic Federation 3 years ago. The Federation had welcomed humans as new members and given them basic technology and star charts. But those charts had always bothered Jake. Lieutenant Ben Carter looked up from the communications desk. "Captain, I have been monitoring alien radio traffic like you asked. Something strange is happening." "What kind of strange?" Jake asked. "Every time Earth or our solar system comes up in conversation, the aliens change the subject really fast. They act like they do not want to talk about it." Lisa sat down at the navigation station and started typing. "Let me check something." Her fingers moved quickly over the controls. "Jake, this is really weird. I am looking at charts from 5 different alien species. They all have the same blank spot where Earth should be." "Maybe it is just a mistake," Ben suggested. "New species, new charts. Maybe they have not updated them yet." "No," Lisa said, shaking her head. "Look at this." She pointed to the screen. "These are Vorthek charts from 200 years ago. Earth is missing there too. And these Nerethi charts from 50 years ago? Same thing. It is like every species in the galaxy has agreed to pretend Earth does not exist." Jake felt a cold feeling in his stomach. "That does not make sense. Why would they do that?" The ship's engineer, Chief Amy Rodriguez, walked onto the bridge carrying a data pad. "Captain, I need to show you something. Remember that alien technology we picked up on Centauri Station? The stuff that was supposed to be broken? The ancient computer cores? What about them? They are not broken. They just were not responding to alien touch. But when I put my hand on them, they lit up like Christmas trees. They are working perfectly, but only for humans." Lisa stood up quickly. "That is not possible. Those cores are from the Eternal Archives. They are millions of years old. How could they be programmed to respond to humans when humans have only been in space for 3 years?" Amy shrugged. "I do not know, but it gets stranger. The cores contain star charts too, and guess what? Earth is on them. Not only is Earth on them, but our solar system is marked with some kind of special symbol I have never seen before." Jake rubbed his forehead. Too many strange things were happening at once. "Show me." Amy led them to the engineering section where she had set up the ancient cores. They looked like black crystals about the size of basketballs. When Amy touched one, it began to glow with soft blue light. Symbols appeared in the air above it. "I can read this somehow," Amy said, looking surprised at her own words. "I do not know how, but I understand it. This symbol here means home. This one means origin point. And this one." She pointed to a complex symbol that seemed to shift and change as they watched it. "I think this one means sleeping or waiting." Lisa was taking notes as fast as she could. "Amy, you said you can read this language? How is that possible?" "I do not know. The knowledge just appears in my head when I look at the symbols. It feels familiar, like remembering something from a long time ago." Ben's communication console started beeping. "Captain, incoming message from Federation Command." "Put it through," Jake said. The screen showed Ambassador Zenth, a tall alien with blue skin and 4 arms. He was the Federation's main contact with humanity. Captain Morrison, I hope your mission is going well. Hello, Ambassador. Actually, we have some questions about the star charts you gave us. Zenth's expression changed slightly. His forearms moved in what Jake had learned was a nervous gesture. Questions? What kind of questions? Well, we noticed that Earth does not appear on any of the galactic charts. Our entire solar system is just blank space. We were wondering why. Zenth was quiet for a long moment. His skin color shifted from blue to a pale green. Earth's location is under special administrative review. There are protocols in place? What kind of protocols? Lisa asked. I am not authorized to discuss those details, but I can assure you that Earth is perfectly safe. The Federation is committed to protecting all member species. Jake leaned forward. Protecting us from what? Captain Morrison, some information is restricted for good reasons. I suggest you focus on your current mission and not worry about administrative matters. But Ambassador, I must go now. Safe travels, Captain. The screen went dark. The bridge was quiet for a moment. Finally, Ben spoke up. Did that seem strange to anyone else? He looked scared. Not scared, Lisa said thoughtfully. More like he was afraid of saying the wrong thing, like he was following a script. Amy was still studying the ancient symbols. Captain, there is more. This core is showing me shipping routes too, and they are completely different from the Federation charts. Look at this. She touched the crystal again and more symbols appeared. These showed lines of light connecting different star systems, but the pattern was nothing like the modern galactic trade routes. These routes all lead to Earth, Amy said, her voice getting excited. Every single pathway leads back to our solar system. It is like Earth is the center of everything. Jake stared at the display. That cannot be right. Earth is just a small planet on the edge of nowhere. We only joined the galactic community 3 years ago. According to this, Earth has been important for millions of years, Amy said. And there is something else. See these symbols around Earth? They translate to something like origin point of the builders or home of the makers. Lisa was writing notes, so fast her hand was cramping. This is incredible. If this information is accurate, then everything we know about human history might be wrong. Ben looked up from his console. Captain, I am picking up automated signals from the edge of the system. They are broadcasting in multiple alien languages. What do they say? Ben listened to his translation program for a moment. Warning, quarantine zone. Ancient protocols in effect. Do not approach without proper authorization. Jake felt that cold feeling in his stomach again, but stronger now. Quarantine zone? We are in a quarantine zone? It gets worse, Captain. I am detecting at least 50 of these warning beacons scattered around nearby star systems. They all say the same thing, but they add something else. They say authorized by the Terran contingency. Agreement and valid until awakening protocols are initiated? Amy looked up from the crystal cores. Captain, I think we need to find out what the Terran contingency agreement is. And I think we need to find out what these awakening protocols are supposed to do. Jake nodded slowly. Something big was happening, something that involved all of humanity. And everyone in the galaxy seemed to know about it except humans themselves. Captain Jake Morrison could not sleep. For 3 days since their conversation with Ambassador Zenth, questions kept spinning in his head. Why was Earth missing from every galactic chart? What was the Terran contingency agreement? And why did ancient alien technology respond to human touch? He walked to the bridge at 0300 hours ship time. The night shift was quiet, with only 2 crew members monitoring the systems. Jake sat at his command chair and pulled up the star charts again. Cannot sleep either, Captain? Dr. Lisa Park walked onto the bridge carrying a cup of coffee and a thick file of papers. Too many questions and not enough answers, Jake replied. What are you working on so late? Lisa sat down beside him and opened her file. I have been researching everything I can find about the civilizations that built those crystal cores. The Eternals claim they are the oldest race in the galaxy, but even their records talk about an earlier civilization called the Guardians. Guardians? The References are scattered and hard to understand. But from what I can piece together, the Guardians disappeared millions of years ago. They left behind technology that no one understands and ruins on planets across the galaxy. The strange thing is Guardian sites are always abandoned. No bodies, no clear signs of what happened to them. Jake leaned back in his chair. Any connection to Earth? That is what I am trying to figure out. Most Guardian sites are marked as off-limits by the Federation. But I found something interesting in the archaeological databases. Every Guardian ruin has the same symbol carved somewhere on it. Lisa pulled out a drawing she had made. It showed a complex design that seemed to shift and change as Jake looked at it. I have seen this before, Jake said suddenly. Where? Amy showed me this symbol on the crystal cores. She said it meant sleeping or waiting. Lisa's eyes went wide. Captain, what if the Guardians did not disappear? What if they are still here, just sleeping or waiting for something? Before Jake could answer, Ben's voice came over the communication system. Captain Morrison to the communications room. Priority message. Jake and Lisa hurried to Ben's station. The young officer looked excited and nervous at the same time. Captain, I intercepted a coded transmission between two alien governments. The encryption was old, so I was able to break it. You need to hear this. Ben played the recording. The translation software turned alien words into text on the screen. Centauri command to Vortex Central. The humans are asking questions about the charts again. Recommend we initiate Protocol 7. Vortex Central to Centauri Command. Protocol 7 not authorized without Council approval. Continue standard deflection procedures. The agreement must be maintained until the triggers are met. Centauri. Command confirms. How much longer do the projections suggest? Vortex Central estimates 2 to 5 years before awakening signs become obvious. The Watchers report increased activity in the Terran system. Ancient installations are powering up. Centauri Command acknowledges. We'll continue monitoring. End transmission. The bridge was silent for a moment. Finally, Jake spoke. Ben, how old is this transmission? 2 weeks ago, Captain. This conversation happened while we were at Centauri Station. Lisa was writing notes again. Ancient installations powering up in the Terran system? What ancient installations? We never found any alien technology in our solar system. Maybe we were not looking in the right places, Jake said. Or maybe we were not the right people too. Find them? Chief Amy Rodriguez appeared on the bridge carrying one of the crystal cores. Captain, you need to see this. I have been working with these cores all night, and they are showing me new information. She set the core down and touched it. The familiar blue glow appeared, but this time the symbols were different. They moved and changed, telling a story in lights and shapes. This is like a history lesson, Amy said, her voice full of wonder. I can see images of the galaxy millions of years ago. There was a great civilization that spread across thousands of star systems. They built incredible cities and amazing technology. The symbols shifted, showing new images, but something went wrong. There was a great danger coming from outside the galaxy. The Guardians knew they could not fight it and win. So they made a plan. What kind of plan? Lisa asked. Amy's eyes were focused on the symbols, like she was reading a book only she could see. They found a small planet with primitive life. They changed that life, planted seeds of their own minds and knowledge, deep inside the genetic code. Then they went to sleep, waiting for the right time to wake up. Jake felt his heart beating faster. Amy, what planet? Earth, Captain. The Guardians chose Earth. They chose our ancestors. The crystal core suddenly flared brighter and new symbols appeared. Amy stepped back, looking shocked. What is it? Jake asked. It is showing me locations. Places in our solar system where Guardian technology is hidden. Stations built inside asteroids. Computers buried under the surface of Mars, defense systems hidden in the rings of Saturn. Ben's console started beeping rapidly. Captain, incoming. Priority transmission from Earth. It is Admiral Parker. Put him through. Admiral Parker's face appeared on the screen. He looked tired and worried. Jake, I need you to return to Earth immediately. We have a situation. What kind of situation, Admiral? 3 days ago, our deep space sensors started picking up energy readings from the outer planets. Yesterday, something activated on the dark side of the moon. We sent a team to investigate and found a facility that was never on any of our charts. Jake exchanged looks with his crew. What kind of facility? Ancient, but in perfect condition. The technology is unlike anything we have ever seen. But Jake, here is the strange part. The facility only responds to human personnel. When our people approach, doors open automatically. Computer systems activate. It is like the place was waiting for us, Amy whispered. The awakening has started. Admiral, Parker continued. We need your expertise to help us understand what we have found. But Jake, there's something else. We are detecting similar facilities activating across the solar system. Whatever this is, it is big. We will head home immediately, Admiral. But sir, I think you should prepare for the possibility that everything we thought we knew about human history is wrong. Admiral Parker frowned. What do you mean? I think we are about to discover that humanity is much older and much more important than we ever imagined. After the transmission ended, Jake turned to his crew. Set course for Earth, maximum speed. Lisa, I want you to study everything we have learned about the Guardians. Amy, keep working with those crystal cores. Ben, monitor all alien communications. I have a feeling things are about to get very interesting. As the horizon turned toward home, Jake watched the stars through the forward window. Somewhere out there, alien governments were having secret meetings about humanity. Ancient technology was waking up after millions of years of sleep, and his own people were discovering that their solar system held secrets no one had ever suspected. The galaxy had been hiding the truth about Earth for a very long time, but Jake was beginning to understand that the truth was not something that could be hidden forever. Whatever the Guardians had planned, whatever they had planted in humanity's genetic code, it was starting to happen. The empty spaces on the galactic charts were not going to stay empty much longer. And when they filled in, the balance of power in the galaxy might change forever. Jake just hoped humanity was ready for what was coming. Because ready or not, the awakening had begun. The journey back to Earth took 5 days. Captain Jake Morrison spent most of that time studying the reports Admiral Parker had sent them. Pictures of the lunar facility showed corridors filled with soft blue light and walls covered in the same symbols Amy could read from the crystal cores. Technology that looked both ancient and impossibly advanced filled every room. Dr. Lisa Park had not left her research station for 2 days. She surrounded herself with alien archaeological reports, Federation databases, and printouts of Guardian symbols. Empty coffee cups covered her desk. Lisa, you need to sleep, Jake said, finding her still awake at 0400 hours. I cannot sleep, Captain. I am too close to understanding something important. She held up a thick file. I have been comparing Guardian sites across the galaxy. Every single one was abandoned at exactly the same time, about 4 million years ago. That is when they came to Earth? That is what the evidence suggests. But Jake, I found something else. The Guardian sites are not just ruins. They are like monuments or markers, and they all point toward the same location. Jake sat down beside her. Let me guess, Earth? Not just Earth? Our entire solar system? It is like they were marking the way home. Lisa pulled out a galactic map covered in red dots. Look at this pattern. Every Guardian site, every ancient monument, every mysterious ruin, they form arrows pointing toward Sol. Chief Amy Rodriguez walked onto the bridge carrying 3 crystal cores. Captain, Dr. Park, you need to see this. The cores are showing me new information as we get closer to Earth. She set the cores down in a triangle pattern. When she touched all 3 at the same time, they began to glow brighter than ever before. The air above them filled with symbols and images. It is like a message, Amy said, her voice full of excitement. The Guardians left instructions. They knew someday their descendants would find these cores and need to understand what was happening. The symbols showed images of Earth as it was millions of years ago. Primitive creatures lived in forests and grasslands. Then the images changed, showing Guardian ships arriving from space. They did not conquer Earth, Amy explained as she watched the symbols. They protected it. There was something coming, something dangerous from outside the galaxy. The Guardians could have fought it, but they knew they would lose. More images appeared showing Guardian scientists working with early human ancestors, so they chose to survive a different way. They took their knowledge, their memories, their entire civilization, and they hid it inside the genetic code of Earth's primitive species. Then they built installations throughout the solar system to watch and wait. Jake stared at the images. Wait for what? For their descendants to evolve enough to understand the message. For humanity to develop space travel and meet other galactic civilizations. For the right moment to wake up. Lieutenant Ben Carter looked up from his station. Captain, incoming transmission from Earth Defense Command, Priority Alpha, put it through. General Collins appeared on the screen. He was the head of Earth's military forces and looked very serious. Captain Morrison, we have a situation. 3 hours ago, every Guardian facility in the solar system activated simultaneously. The lunar base, the Mars installations, the Saturn defense platforms, all of them. What do you mean activated? Jake asked. They are broadcasting, Captain, sending signals in all directions. Long-range sensors show the transmissions are reaching other star systems. And we are getting responses. Lisa leaned forward. What kind of responses? Unknown ships are moving toward our solar system from multiple directions. Some appear to be Federation vessels, but others we do not recognize. They will arrive in approximately 18 hours. Jake felt his stomach drop. General, are these ships hostile? We do not know, but Captain, there is something else. The Guardian installations are not just broadcasting outward. They are sending signals to Earth itself, and people are responding. What do you mean, people are responding? General Collins looked uncomfortable. Scientists around the world are reporting strange dreams and sudden insights. Engineers are designing technology they should not understand. Military commanders are developing new strategies based on knowledge they never learned. It is like information is appearing in people's minds. Amy stepped closer to the screen. General, how many people are affected? Reports are coming in from every continent. Tens of thousands so far, maybe more. The medical teams say there is nothing wrong with these people. They are just suddenly smarter, like they are remembering things they never knew. The crystal cores on the bridge flared brighter. Amy touched them again, and new symbols appeared. The awakening is accelerating, she said, reading the symbols. The Guardian installations are downloading their databases into human minds. 4 million years of accumulated knowledge and experience. Jake rubbed his forehead. How long do we have before this process is complete? Amy studied the symbols for a moment. According to this, the first phase will finish when we reach Earth, but the full awakening will take several days. Ben's console started beeping urgently. Captain, incoming message. It is encrypted with Federation codes, but it is not from any official Federation source. Play it, a voice spoke in heavily accented English. Human vessel Horizon, this is Captain Vex of the independent ship Star Runner. I am transmitting this message on a secure frequency because what I have to tell you could be considered treason by the Federation Council. Jake and his crew exchanged worried looks. The voice continued. My species, the Korath, have been watching your solar system for 3,000 years. We are descendants of Guardian client species, races that served the Guardians before they disappeared. We know what you are, and we know what is happening to you. The Federation has been lying to humanity since first contact. The quarantine around your solar system was not to protect the galaxy from you. It was to protect you from those who would try to stop your awakening. The Guardians had many enemies, and those enemies are still alive. Lisa grabbed Jake's arm. Captain, if this is true, then we are walking into a trap. The message continued. A faction called the Dominion has been preparing for this day for millions of years. They know about the Guardian legacy and they fear it. They will try to destroy Earth before the awakening is complete. You have perhaps one day before they arrive in force, but you are not defenseless. The Guardian installations in your solar system contain weapons and defenses beyond anything the current galaxy possesses. Your people just need to learn how to use them, and they will learn, because the knowledge is already inside them. Captain Morrison, you and your crew are important. The crystal cores you carry contain activation codes for the Guardian Defense Network. Bring them to Earth quickly. Your species' survival may depend on it, the message ended. The bridge was silent except for the humming of the ship's engines. Finally, Jake spoke. Ben, how long until we reach Earth? 6 hours at maximum speed, Captain. Take us to maximum speed. Jake turned to his crew. Lisa, I want you to compile everything we know about Guardian technology. Amy, keep working with those cores. If they contain activation codes, we need to understand how to use them. What? About the Federation, Captain? Ben asked. Should we contact them? Jake thought for a moment. No, not yet. We do not know who we can trust. For now, we go to Earth and we prepare for whatever is coming. As the horizon accelerated toward home, Jake watched the stars ahead. In a few hours, they would reach Earth and discover the truth about humanity's place in the galaxy. The awakening, that had been dormant for 4 million years, was almost complete, but, according to Captain Vex, they were also racing against time. Somewhere in space, enemy forces were moving toward Earth. The Guardian installations were powering up their defenses. And ordinary humans were suddenly remembering knowledge from a civilization that ruled the galaxy before recorded history began. The next day would determine whether humanity reclaimed its birthright as the heirs of the Guardians, or whether that legacy would be destroyed before it could fully bloom. Jake only hoped they would be ready for what was coming. The U's horizon dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of Earth's solar system. Captain Jake Morrison stared at the view screen in amazement. The solar system he had known all his life was completely different. Massive structures had appeared around every planet. Saturn's rings now glowed with energy patterns that pulsed like a heartbeat. Jupiter showed signs of enormous installations built into its moons. Mars had geometric patterns of light covering its entire surface. Even the asteroid belt sparkled with activated technology. My God, Dr. Lisa Park whispered. How did we never see any of this before? Chief Amy Rodriguez was working with the crystal cores, which were now glowing so brightly they hurt to look at directly. The installations were cloaked, she said, reading the symbols that flowed above the crystals. Guardian stealth technology hid them from all sensors until the awakening began. Lieutenant Ben Carter looked up from his communications station. Captain, I am receiving signals from Earth Defense Command, but also from dozens of other sources throughout the system. Guardian installations are trying to contact us. Put Earth Defense through first, Jake ordered. Admiral Parker appeared on screen. He looked exhausted but also excited. Jake, thank goodness you are back. The situation is changing by the hour. We have Guardian facilities coming online everywhere, and our people are changing too. Changing how? Jake asked. Military engineers are designing weapons that should be impossible. Our pilots are flying ships with capabilities they never had. Before, scientists are solving problems that have puzzled us for decades. It is like humanity is remembering how to be something we forgot we were. Amy looked up from the crystal cores. Admiral, the knowledge download is accelerating. How many people are affected now? Conservative estimates say about 2 million. People worldwide have reported new abilities or knowledge. But Jake, that is not why I called. We have detected large fleets moving toward our system. Some are Federation ships, but others are completely unknown. Jake felt his heart sink. How long do we have? The closest fleet will arrive in 8 hours. Long-range scans suggest they are not coming to talk. Ben's console started beeping rapidly. Captain, incoming transmission from an unknown source. The signal is coming from inside our solar system. Put it through. A new voice filled the bridge, speaking perfect English but with an accent Jake had never heard before. Human Vessel Horizon, this is Keeper. I am the primary artificial intelligence of the Guardian Defense Network. I have been waiting for Million years for this conversation. The entire crew stared at the speakers in shock. You carry the activation cores? Keeper continued. I can sense them from here. Bring them to the lunar facility immediately. Time is running short. Who are you? Jake asked. I am what remains of the Guardian Collective, their final gift to their descendants. I have maintained the defense installations and watched over humanity's development. Now the awakening is beginning, but our enemies have detected it. Lisa leaned forward. Our enemies, the Dominion. They were rivals of the Guardians millions of years ago. When the Guardians chose to transform rather than fight, the Dominion saw it as weakness. They have spent 4 million years preparing for this day, building fleets and weapons designed specifically to destroy awakening Guardian descendants. Amy touched the crystal cores again. New images appeared showing massive alien ships armed with weapons that could destroy entire planets. They are coming here to finish what they started millions of years ago, Keeper explained. But the Guardians prepared for this possibility. The solar system contains defenses beyond anything the current galaxy has ever seen. We just need human operators to activate them. Jake made his decision quickly. Ben, set course for the moon, maximum speed. How long to get there? 2 hours, Captain. Keeper, what do we need to do when we arrive? Bring the activation cores to the central control chamber. The facility will download the complete Guardian command protocols into your minds. But be warned, the process will change you permanently. You will gain access to 4 million years of Guardian knowledge and experience. What does that mean exactly? Lisa asked. You will still be human, but you will also be Guardian. You will understand technology that seems impossible now. You will have strategic knowledge accumulated across galactic wars. You will become what humanity was always meant to become. Amy was studying the symbols flowing above the cores. Keeper, how many people need to undergo this process? For basic defense operations, only a few dozen key personnel. But for humanity, to reclaim its full Guardian heritage, eventually millions will need to awaken. As the horizon raced toward the moon, Jake watched the transformation of his solar system continue. Ancient installations that had been hidden for millions of years were revealing themselves. Weapon platforms emerged from the dark side of asteroids. Defense stations materialized in empty space. Captain, Ben called out, I am receiving communications from the incoming fleets. Some are Federation ships requesting permission to enter the system. Others are just demanding we surrender. What are the Federation ships saying? Mixed messages, sir. Some claim they are here to protect us. Others are ordering us to shut down all Guardian installations immediately. Lisa was working at her science station. Captain, I am analyzing the energy readings from the Guardian installations. The power levels are incredible. Some of these platforms could destroy an entire fleet by themselves. That is the point, Amy said, still reading from the cores. The Guardians knew their enemies would come with overwhelming force, so they built defenses that could not be overwhelmed. 2 hours later, the Horizon landed at the lunar facility. Jake had been to the moon before, but this place was completely new. The Guardian installation stretched for kilometers underground. Its corridors filled with soft blue light and walls, covered in flowing symbols. Keeper's voice echoed through the facility as they made their way to the central chamber. The awakening is accelerating across Earth. Your people are beginning to remember skills and knowledge they never learned. But the Dominion fleet will arrive in 6 hours. We must activate the defenses before then. The central chamber was a vast room filled with crystal cores much larger than the ones Amy had been working with. In the center stood a raised platform with spaces for the 3 cores they had brought. Place the cores in the activation matrix, Keeper instructed. Then each of you must place your hand on a different core. The download will begin immediately. Jake looked at his crew. Are you ready for this? Keeper said it will change us permanently. Was the first to step forward. Captain, I have been changing since I first touched these cores. I can feel Guardian memories trying to surface in my mind. I think we are meant to do this. Lisa nodded. All the evidence points to the same conclusion. Humanity is the Guardian legacy. This is what we were designed for. Ben took a deep breath. If we do not do this, Earth might be destroyed. I would rather be changed than dead. Jake placed his core in the matrix first. Amy and Lisa followed. Then all four of them placed their hands on the crystals. The download began immediately. Jake felt information flooding into his mind at an incredible rate. Strategic knowledge from galactic wars. Technical specifications for weapons that could crack planets. Historical data from civilizations that existed before Earth's sun was born, but it was not just information. Jake could feel his consciousness expanding, connecting with systems throughout the solar system. He could sense the massive defense platforms hidden in the asteroid belt. He could feel the weapon systems built into Jupiter's moons. He could perceive energy patterns that his human eyes could never see. The transformation is complete, Keeper announced. You are now Guardian human hybrids, with access to the complete defense network. The Dominion fleet has just entered the outer solar system. It is time to show them that the Guardians never truly disappeared. Jake opened his eyes, and for the first time in his life, he could see everything. Captain Jake Morrison stood in the Guardian control chamber, but he was no longer just Jake Morrison. The knowledge of 4 million years flowed through his mind like a river of light. He could see the entire solar system as if it were a three-dimensional map in his head. Every Guardian installation, every hidden weapon, every defense platform was now part of his awareness. Captain, Dr. Lisa Park said, but her voice sounded different now. Calmer, more confident, filled with ancient wisdom. I can see them. The Dominion fleet. 300 ships approaching from the edge of the system. Chief Amy Rodriguez nodded, her eyes closed as she connected with the Guardian network. Their technology is advanced, but it is still based on the same principles the Guardians knew. Millions of years ago, they have learned nothing new. Lieutenant Ben Carter was monitoring communications from across the galaxy. Captain, the Federation fleet is also here. 50 ships holding position at the edge of our system. They seem to be waiting to see what happens. Jake could feel the presence of Keeper, the Guardian artificial intelligence, in his mind. The AI had been alone for so long, waiting for this moment. Now it was no longer alone. The Dominion commander is demanding our surrender, Ben reported. They are saying humanity will be relocated to controlled worlds for our own protection. Jake smiled, and it was not entirely a human smile. Open a channel to the Dominion fleet. The main screen showed a large alien with gray skin and yellow eyes. General Thax of the Dominion had been planning this moment for centuries. His expression showed confidence and contempt. I am General Thax. You will surrender immediately and allow us to land on your planet. Your awakening ends here. I am Captain Jake Morrison of Earth, Jake replied calmly. And I think you are confused about who should be surrendering, Thax laughed. You are a primitive species with 4 ships and delusions of importance. We have 300 battle cruisers armed with planet-destroying weapons. You have 300 ships built with technology the Guardians invented, Jake corrected. Technology they deliberately made sure you could never fully understand. Jake could feel Amy and Lisa working through the Guardian network, activating systems throughout the solar system. Ancient weapon platforms that had been sleeping for millions of years began to power up. You want to know why the galactic charts cut off at Earth's border? Jake continued. Because this solar system is not just humanity's home. It is the Guardian home base, and it has been protected by defenses you cannot imagine. Thax's expression changed from confidence to concern. Impossible. The Guardians are extinct. No, Jake said softly. They evolved. At Jake's mental command, the first Guardian defense platform revealed itself. It had been hidden inside what appeared to be a large asteroid near Jupiter. But as its stealth systems deactivated, the Dominion fleet could see it was actually a weapons platform the size of a moon. Then another platform appeared near Saturn, and another near Mars. Within minutes, dozens of massive Guardian installations were visible throughout the solar system. Each of those platforms has enough firepower to destroy your entire fleet, Jake explained to the shocked Dominion general. But that is not the most important thing you should know. What? Fax demanded. The most important thing is that they are not controlled by artificial intelligence or automatic systems. They are controlled by awakened Guardian descendants? By humans who now remember what their species was always meant to become. Lisa stepped forward, her consciousness linked to the weapons systems near Saturn. General Fax, you have 30 seconds to order your fleet to withdraw from this system. Amy opened her eyes, and they glowed faintly with blue light. The Guardian Defense Network is fully operational. Every approach route to Earth is covered by weapons that were ancient when your civilization was still learning to make fire. Fax looked around at his bridge crew. Jake could see the uncertainty in their faces. They had come expecting to find a helpless primitive world. Instead, they found the awakened heirs of the galaxy's former masters. This is a trick, Fax said, but his voice was less confident now. Guardian technology cannot be operated by humans. That is where you are wrong, Jake replied. Guardian technology can only be operated by Guardians. And we are what the Guardians became. To demonstrate his point, Jake activated one of the smaller weapon platforms. A beam of pure energy lanced out from the installation near Mars and struck an asteroid. The asteroid simply vanished, converted to energy in an instant. The next shot will be aimed at your flagship, Jake warned. Ben was monitoring communications between the Dominion ships. Captain, they are arguing about whether to attack or retreat. Some of their commanders want to test our defenses. Let them, Amy said calmly. The Guardian network has been waiting 4 million years for a proper test. But before the Dominion could make their decision, new ships appeared at the edge of the system. Jake recognized them immediately through his Guardian knowledge. They were ships of the Free Worlds Alliance, the descendants of other species that had served the Guardians. Captain Vex of the Star Runner opened a communication channel. General Fax, you are outnumbered and outgunned. The Guardian awakening is complete. Your war ended 4 million years ago. It is time to accept that. More ships were arriving now. Species that had been hiding their Guardian connections for millions of years were finally revealing themselves. The Korath, the Zenthi, the ancient builders. All of them had been waiting for this moment. Fax looked around at the growing fleet of Guardian allied ships and the massive weapons platforms throughout the solar system. His 300 ships suddenly seemed very small. This is not over, he said finally. The Dominion will not accept Guardian rule. Then the Dominion will have problems, Jake replied. Because the galaxy is about to remember who really built the civilization you all take for granted. The Dominion fleet began to withdraw, their ships accelerating toward the edge of the system. Some of the younger commanders wanted to fight, but the older ones remembered the stories of Guardian power. They had no desire to test weapons that could destroy stars. As the immediate threat faded, Jake turned his attention to the Federation fleet that was still waiting at the system's edge. Ambassador Zenth appeared on the communication screen, looking nervous and uncertain. Captain Morrison, the Federation Council requests a meeting to discuss this new situation. Of course, Jake said. But Ambassador, things have changed. The Federation will need to decide whether it wants to continue the old agreements or negotiate new ones with the returned Guardians. Over the following days, everything changed. The Guardian installations throughout the solar system continued to reveal themselves. Ancient cities on the Moon and Mars opened their doors for the first time in millions of years. Earth itself began to show signs of hidden Guardian technology as more humans underwent the awakening process. The galactic charts were redrawn. Earth was no longer a blank spot on the edge of nowhere. It was marked as the Guardian homeworld, the center of an ancient civilization that had never really died. Jake stood on the observation deck of the lunar facility, watching ships from across the galaxy arrive to pay their respects to the returned Guardians. The Federation Council was already drafting new treaties. The Free Worlds Alliance was emerging from hiding. Even some Dominion worlds were requesting diplomatic contact. Lisa joined him at the window. It is hard to believe this all started because we noticed empty spaces on star charts. The spaces were never really empty, Jake replied. They were just waiting for the right time to be filled again. Amy and Ben walked up to join them. Oh. 4 of them had been changed by the Guardian awakening, but they were still human. They still cared about Earth and humanity's future. What happens now? Ben asked. Jake smiled, and this time it was entirely human. Now we build something new. Not the old Guardian Empire, but something better. A galaxy where all species can grow and learn together. The charts no longer cut off at Earth's border. Instead, they showed new routes leading to the stars, paths that would carry humanity and their allies to a future the Guardians could only have dreamed of. The awakening was complete, but the real journey was just beginning.